Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on your location. This is the 49th episode of Leadership Talk with Adegoke. Uh, on this session, I have with me Lauren. Uh, Lauren is speaking from where you speaking from, North Carolina, and we're going to be looking at leadership and startups. How are you today, my friend?
Doing great. Super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. How's the weather?
It's great. It's beautiful and sunny in Wilmington.
Excellent. Now, listen, can you just tell us who is Lauren?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the founder and chief marketing nerd at Coastal Consulting. I'm a deeply curious person that found a love for marketing automation after getting a degree in psychology and a master's in business. I found that the marketing automation specialty allows you to combine your deep understanding of people with a really intense understanding of data and analytics. And so I've specialized in Salesforce and HubSpot and have looked to bridge the gap for companies using the two to help them better understand where their data is, how to leverage it, and how to provide great customer experiences. I have lived in Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and now North Carolina. I am a big lover of animals and have 2 dogs and a cat. Recently engaged and 6 months into my leadership journey.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now, could you tell us what's your view on leadership? What is leadership to you?
Yeah. To me, leadership is your ability to improve the lives of others and inspire others to strive for more for themselves. So when I look at a strong leader, it's someone who's empowering those around them, who's providing opportunities for others to learn and grow, and someone who's leading by example. So if you want people to succeed, if you want them to grow, then grow and succeed yourself and provide them the tools to do the same. And just create a space for learning development and build trust with those around you.
Good. Now, can you tell me your leadership journey? Have you been in any specific role where you applied your skills and showed up before now?
No. So before now, I've been a team member on teams. I've been an analyst. I've been a specialist, but I've never been a manager of people in the past. I was actually talking about my team with this morning, but I haven't had a direct management role at an organization. And I think in some ways that's been an advantage now as a manager of people, because I think that when you're a manager in an organization, you're given a bunch of rules to follow and a structure that maybe isn't always the best or the right way to go. And there's a lot of influence of politics and maybe not the best thing whenever you're leading a group of people. So for me, I'm just mirroring the great leadership examples I've had in the past and trying to avoid the poor leadership examples that I've had.
Awesome. Lauren, you're doing very well. I just wanted to, for me, I'm so fascinated about leadership. Leadership Talk with Adegoke. It's a podcast that's had so much impact globally. Just before we came on, I was sharing a testimony that we just got a mail from a particular platform, and we were excited about Leadership Talk with Adegoke. It's reaching out to people in Saudi Arabia, people in Nigeria, Australia, the US, quite a number of states in the US, and we're just so excited. I believe that you can't give what you don't have, and leadership is influence, according to John C. Maxwell. Nothing more, nothing less. So, and that's what we're doing. We're showing up. So, well done. I just want to speak to this startups. What's unique about startups?
Yeah. So I look at our business a little bit like a startup in that we're new. Because we're an agency, it's a little bit different than your traditional tech startup or product-based startup. But I think that a common theme in startups versus maybe traditional organizations or venture-led businesses is that startups are really driven by a personal passion from the founder. And I think that bleeds through in the company's culture. I think that from what I've observed, founders typically have a triggering event in their lives, whether it's realizing there's a large problem or deciding that they're part of a system they don't want to be a part of, or that they've discovered something new that they want to share with the world. And startups have the unique advantage of a really passionate leader, whereas larger organizations often have a CEO that is on their 5th round of being a CEO. They know how to get effective results and metrics, whereas a startup is led by someone that like bleeds with passion for the business that they're running. And so startups are often more agile and lean and mission focused rather than results and statistics focused.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good one. Startups. How about the funding for startups? Could you just share some insight? The challenges of funding for startups?
Yeah. So I feel a little bit blessed in that I haven't had a ton of challenges so far. My biggest challenge has been figuring out hiring and management from an HR perspective. So I've hired employees in North Carolina, Tennessee, Washington State, and Virginia. And so looking at the different state laws, the different registrations that are needed in each state and making sure that all of the boxes are ticked. So that's what I've been learning the most. And then as far as client acquisition and building our revenue, I've found that the service that we're offering is very needed on the market. And our skill set to be able to bridge the gap between Salesforce and HubSpot and do it in a way that empowers our clients to know how to use their systems and to learn along the way and doesn't create a dependency on us is very much like desired by the market, and it's in high demand. So we've been very lucky to have a pretty steady stream of people coming in and wanting to work with us. And my team's just been amazing. The people I've surrounded myself with are just incredible people. And so I've been very lucky to work with an awesome team.
Awesome. Now, if you're just joining us on this podcast, this is Leadership Talk with Adegoke. Adding value with my friend from the United States of America, North Carolina, Lauren Kennedy. She's adding so much value on Leadership Talk with Adegoke. We're looking at leadership, and startups. Leadership and startups. What are those qualities of a leader that you think is relevant for startups?
I think that it's really important, specifically as a startup leader, to be able to inspire people to believe in both you and the product you're selling. So if you look at the success of organizations, it's largely based on the people that work there. If you're not able to have people that care about what you're doing and actually give their all to the organization, it's really hard for you to move forward. And if you put your employee hat on and think about looking at places you can work, you look at stability. What's going to provide financial stability for me? Where can I be happy? And maybe a startup would be somewhere that you can be happy, but you're nervous about the future of the company, or maybe you're nervous about joining a 3-person team. And so a big success factor for a new startup founder is your ability to get buy-in from both your customers and your employees that this is going to be a safe place to work. We have a strong mission here. We have a strong trajectory. Like, you're going to be fine and we're going to get through it together. And I think that the ability to convey that message and inspire that trust is super important.
Wow. So it's all about, giving from a point of value. You bring the value to the marketplace and add, so much in terms of energy, in terms of results, in terms of making sure that there's transformation and innovation in every space where you operate, even as a startup. So what's the consequence? What's the negative impact of a startup not having leadership qualities?
Yeah. If you run a startup without leadership qualities, it's going to be very hard to attract and retain employees. Especially right now in the US, we've experienced a very large labor shortage due to a variety of factors, but it's been really hard to find and retain employees. And we've also seen a huge I don't even know how to describe it. A bunch of people left their jobs this past year because they were not treated well during the pandemic and didn't like how their companies handled it and have decided to demand more. So if you're not able to convey like leadership qualities at a company in general right now, you're not going to have a staff. Without a staff, you can't achieve anything. You can't do it all on your own. So I think that that's a really important thing. Leadership qualities are important, but even without leadership qualities, you're able to convince people for a while that you might have them. You can pretend, but if you don't develop the leadership qualities, that will eventually show in the way that you treat your clients, the way that you treat your employees. And if you don't truly invest in being a strong leader and give that your full attention, that will show through in your values and your success as a business and your long-term sustainability, because your clients will see through it. The word of mouth, if that's negative, has really damaging impacts, and you will really struggle to move forward if you're continuously dealing with employee turnover.
Wow, massive. Well done, Lauren. You just getting us, that kind of knowledge that we need right now, because with the pandemic, quite a number of startups are struggling. In terms of trying to recalibrate, because the pandemic has caused a disruption.
Yeah.
And this is the time that startups need deep leadership skills to navigate and pivot and like I said, recalibrate. So I just want to ask, what has been your own experience? I know you've just been in industry for about 6 months, but 6 months is a lot of time. I've been around for 20 years, but I mean, I can still say that 6 months, it's a big. I just want to commend you. So what's been your experience thus far
as a leader?
Yeah, what has it brought out for you? What part of you has emerged?
Yeah. What's been really interesting to me, leading and starting this company, is that I've learned so much about myself that I wasn't aware of before. As I've done more interviews and spoken with more people, I've learned more about the influence that the people in my life have had on me. Specifically my mother, my parents, my grandfather when I was younger. It's become really apparent to me that this has been something that's been grown and nurtured in me since I was really young. My natural sense of curiosity was very much encouraged in my household. I had very strong leaders around me growing up, and it's become very apparent how much that's rubbed off on me. And before I wasn't really aware. Yeah, thank you. And it's also, it's been a journey that's kind of made me angry, if I'm honest. I've seen how easy it is for me as a business leader to do things like offer fully employer paid health insurance for all my employees, and to do things like send them gifts throughout the month or do little rewards. And I provide a budget every month for them to get an extra certification or do something educationally that makes them feel good and advances their career. And I've worked for so many companies that are very large, have a lot more money than we do, and they don't offer these benefits. And it's really frustrated me as I've become a leader and had the ability to run a company and offer these things to employees, that corporate America, larger organizations don't give their employees these basic benefits. And if I'm able to, as a small business owner, 6 months in, I know that they can. And so as I've become a leader and grown into this role, it's made me kind of frustrated with previous organizations, not even for myself, but just in general, that don't offer these employee benefits that would really instill loyalty and make their employees' lives easier. So it's just frustrated me with the system more so than even when I started, now that I've seen what I can do and know what they could have done.
Well, I just want to thank you for being authentic, sharing your challenges, but it can only get better. The opportunities are there, but as you go through, it's all about learning. It's a journey. I tell people, running a startup it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and it's all about the mindset and also about perspectives. If you want to grow, if you You see each moment as a teachable moment. You don't see it as an obstacle. Every challenge is taken in its stride, and it's, as long as you have a vision that is very clear, you stay focused, and you're also in the right community, um, and do a lot of collaborations, which you just alluded to, because a lot of startups just think that not a lot, some startups they think that they can run the race on their own. They don't need people. Um, I tell people that what has helped me is that I do a lot of collaborations. I show up, I learn, I get mentors. Uh, some read books, some also interactions. So it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, this is Leadership Talk with Adegoke. We're looking at leadership and startups. Leadership and startups. With me is Lauren Kennedy from North Carolina. And we're looking at leadership and startups. This is Leadership Talk with Adegoke, the 49th episode. So, Lauren, I just wanted to I know you shared in part about, the benefits of, having the right environment to grow, and which has helped you, your orientation, your background, even at the startup, you're more resilient, you're more agile. I just wanted to speak to that again for those who might just be, joining us. What's the advantage of your background? Is it your parents or your relationships? What's been the advantage? Yes.
Yeah. I recently did an article with Authority Magazine talking about the 5 most important things to be an effective leader in turbulent times. And that really connected me to my past and how I feel like that's uniquely prepared me for this. I grew up in a household where leadership was encouraged. My mom's very much an entrepreneur, and she's also very passionate about animal welfare. And so watching her journey with taking entrepreneurship and combining it with the nonprofit world has been really inspirational. And seeing those leadership examples has always made me expect more. So being able to grow up and seeing how people are supposed to take care of others, and then entering a corporate world that's not designed to take care of others really created friction for me in the work environment. So I've always been highly skilled in the technical abilities that I have, but really not feeling like any place fit me because of the leadership culture. And bits and pieces of it resonated. I feel like I've had really good managers, but maybe organizational systems that aren't designed for those type of managers to succeed. Yeah. So I think that being able to see the strong and poor leadership examples that I've seen throughout my life have really prepared me for what I'm doing now. And also my ability, my willingness to take the risk and do something like this and go and start a business at 27 and see how it goes. I think it's been just a really interesting journey. And because I'm passionate about people first leadership and about the type of services we provide in HubSpot and Salesforce and really making those platforms come to life for our customers, I found that I do feel uniquely qualified for what I do just because of the passion that I have for it.
Wow. Amazing. A friend of mine is joining from Colorado, Denver. His name is Odemi Olaiwole. He's also a certified John Maxwell coach, speaker, and trainer who just attended the John Maxwell International Leadership Conference in Florida. He's saying, I need environment. He said, environments affect the future of startups. And he said he's also glad to be here. Thank you, Odemi, for joining us. This is so good. Lauren is just giving us deep stuff, on leadership and startups, and I love the perspective that you shared about the frustrations and also the privilege of having your parents expose you to leadership from a very young age, and despite the fact that you're 27, you're just showing up and you just want to make a difference from the get-go. You're not ready to just sit back and moan and complain. You just want to be a change agent. And I remember what Mahatma Gandhi, one of his quotes said, you should be the change that you want the world to see. Quite a number of people complain, oh, this is not working, things are down, but what are you doing to make a difference? And the podcast leadership talk that okay, it's just a way of giving back, giving back, and that's why you are also on this platform with me, sharing your thoughts, despite the fact that there's a huge gap between yourself and myself as a startup. I've been in the business for 20 years. You've been in 6 months, but there's a convergence, of ideas, of thoughts, and we're showing up. So I just want to celebrate you, Lauren. Now, we're getting close to the end of this session, but what would you say to, a startup a person that is just starting, that is yet to start, you have really hit the ground running? What would you say? What are those nuggets that you would like to share?
Absolutely. So for someone that is getting ready to start a startup, or feels like they have a really good idea, or just feels like they're not in the right position at work and that they're not getting treated the way that they believe they should, I really say go for it. So I wanted to start this company. It was in the back of my mind of maybe someday. And I had a really poor leadership event happen, and I resigned from my position and filed for an LLC the next day and started this company. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have necessarily funding. It's very much cash flowed. Like, we're a debt-free business, fully cash flowed. And I just started off as a freelancer. And as I grew, I hired people, and I've built out this team. And I now have rallied around the mission of really understanding that the reason that I started this company was to demand better for myself and to create an environment that is better for the people that I'm bringing into our company. So for me, thank you. For me, it's take the leap. It's do it and figure it out. And I've always said the worst thing that happens is this falls apart and I find another job. There's always a job to go back to. People look at starting a business as taking this leap and jumping off a cliff. And really, you're just trying a different route. And if it doesn't work out, just like a job wouldn't work out, you find another one. However, I do love what I'm doing, and I don't plan for it not to work out.
Wow, Lauren, this is good. This is good. Well done. Well done. I'm just so excited because you just said something, jumping off a cliff, and you build your wings as you go down. Just like an eagle. You never know. You never know. You never know. And that's the right approach. Now, I just wanted to take 2 more questions, and that'll be it. Well, you've done very well. Leadership Talk with Adegoke, the 49th episode of our podcast. I'm here with this amazing lady from North Carolina, Lauren Kennedy, and we're looking at leadership and startups. Now, who are your mentors? I know you mentioned your dad and your mom, which is good, but do you have other mentors beyond, coaches or,
I don't have any active coaches at the moment. If I had to look at mentors in my life, I would say my mom, definitely. Whenever I'm writing something new or preparing for an interview or something like that, I usually bounce off ideas off of her. Wow. My good friend, Brandon, he's an attorney. I have him, I double check all of my ideas by him. Like, I called him and said, I think I'm going to quit my job and start a company. What do you think? And he was like, go for it. Like, I know that you're not going to fail, so I fully support it. And so my mentors are really the supporters in my life. And I have a lot of friends around me that are supporting what I'm doing. And I would say the biggest mentorship I get from a leader that's established is reading and listening to things by Brené Brown. I really think that she's a good North Star for me when it comes to vulnerability and authenticity. Wow.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you, and I wish you all the best in your journeys. So finally, would you like to just share some thoughts with our listeners all over the world? I'm with my friend on leadership and startups, with my good friend from North Carolina, Lauren Kennedy. What would you like to say finally, in 30 seconds?
Yeah. I would just say that being true to yourself is not as hard as it looks. People make it out to be a really hard thing. But if you just make the decision to do what makes you happy and brings you fulfillment in life and decide to be true to yourself, you can do it at any age, I'm 27 and made this leap on my own with the full support of my friends and family. And the market has responded and seen that I'm being true to myself and taking a leap and doing all of that with people first, people coming first, people around me and bringing us all up. And if you take that approach, you can do whatever you want to do and whatever you're setting out to do.
That's right. That's right. One of my mentors is late now. His name is Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar will say that you can get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. And that's the approach. People first. People first. So for our listeners, how can they reach you? How can they contact you?
Yeah. You can find me online at my company. It's coastalconsulting.co. Or you can follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter at CMN Coastal.
Wow. Wow. That's it. So that's the way it is. Another session is ended for Leadership Talk with Adegoke, with an amazing lady from North Carolina. Oh, wow. Wow. I'm just so excited. Lauren, you've done very well. You've done very well. For listeners who are also going to be listening to the podcast, just reach out to this lady, and she's definitely going places. So thank you. You want to say bye-bye to everyone?
Yeah, thanks. Bye, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.